We'll be talking about Tales of Ba Sing Se, spoiler alert for Avatar The Last Airbender, Tales of Ba Sing Se, and a few episodes after it. Here's your warning. This has kind of been spurred off by a video about filler by Overly Sarcastic Productions. Very interesting story. But in the comic section, there was a mention of the Tales of Ba Sing Se, calling it filler. I don't know if I agreed with that, at least on some certain levels. Of course, there's different explanations for filler, but as something that didn't move the plot, that's really a stretch for me. First things first, the tale of Momo ends with them finding a clue where Appa was. Again, progress the story, maybe a little slow, but it did technically progress the story. Secondly, the character building. Probably the lowest one was Sokka. And again, it's a bunch of short stories, so maybe if you want to count part filler, part kind of not filler. But Tale of Sokka is probably the lowest one, but the whole dolling up with Katara and Toph, where they do the whole spa day thing, that was kind of setting up for the party that was going to happen later. So that kind of, in a way, pushed it along. Not to mention the character development, which I do consider pushing the plot along, to understand a character, why they think, and all that. And then there was Zuko's date, which really, when you kind of look at it, it kind of built up the fall of Zuko towards the end. Especially when you consider the beach episode he had. It pushed that to make it hurt a lot more. Then the tale of Iroh, which, honestly, when you look at it a little bit more fundamentally, it did bring Iroh into pure hero status there. Like, most of the series, he was, I wouldn't say he was a villain, but he was an assistant to the villain. This was just pure hero sympathy, more or less cementing him as the hero, and of course his eventual escape and all that just kind of fills out the relationship between him and Zuko a little bit. Like, what does he think of his brother? What does he think of Zuko? Just kind of keeps you thinking. That's kind of the issue with filler as a concept when it gets good. When it's bad, just time killing, that's pretty simple where to put it. But when it gets complex, building up the character, how, if, is character growth, can character growth actually be filler? Which is an interesting question. What do you guys think? Signing off.